Okay, well, welcome to the Body Matters moment together. And so this is, again, your time for yourself to get in touch with yourself and to, take time to, stand still with your relationship with yourself. And that's why this is different. It feels different to me too. I don't know how to prepare. Normally I can just always see something in course or in something that comes my way, and here it is like, no, this is about the relationship with yourself, with coming into feeling yourself, into the recognition of the importance of your experience of yourself. And that's a very gentle and loving thing to do. So that's why I'd love to present this or to facilitate this, because there's just this and nothing else. It's like that. It's like there's nothing else but this that we're doing. Okay, so we continue. Like I said, this is the time for yourself this is time for your relationship with yourself. And we started in a very, almost like a physical way, in the sense that we do a body matter meditation, just to get the feel for it for ourselves. And also to not forget to include the body into all this. And I come back to that later, because you would say, like, why would I want to include my body in it? Like, the body is like just a means of communication, and what else should I use it for? And so we're a little bit expanding on that idea today too in this class. So we're starting the body matter meditation. So this partially is standing up and partially is just sitting down, feeling what you're feeling. So that's where we start with. At a certain point I will ask you to stand up, just to feel the feet under your ground too. Okay, Sue, special welcome to you. Really happy that you're here. It's really great. You finally got in the door. Sometimes it seems difficult, but hey, there's always a way to get in, for sure. So here we start a body matter meditation. So sit back, relax, or sit active like I do on the edge of my seat, sitting up straight, starting to breathe, just maybe letting your arms just hang, so to speak, letting your arms next to your body, and starting to breathe into your belly, because that's an important part of the meditation. If you don't make connection with your underbelly, so to speak, then you're still like in a superficial part of your breathing too. So in the deeper part of your belly is where the fun is, in that sense, because like this is where your fear also comes from. Like the origination of the fear feelings is there. So when you start to breathe to it, it has a possibility to be released. So here we are. We're not afraid to breathe deeply into our belly, and we feel how we touch the seat that we're sitting on. And so I'm continuing this with questions that I ask you, more as like focus points for your attention temporarily, because this is a very temporal, meditation, attention meditation. So you touch the seat with your sit bones, as I call them, with your sit bones, and you can feel the weight of your body more or less. And see, I get a itch on my nose even when I'm speaking. It must be just excitement, so that's also possible. Sitting on my sit bones, connecting with the chair. So your feet, where are your feet? Oh, they are right there. They're right there. They touch the floor. They touch the floor that you put your feet on. So can you feel your feet? Can you feel how they touch the ground? At what place they touch the ground? Can you feel your ankle bones? and your lower legs. Can you feel them? Like, are you having any special, what's the word for that? Sensations in your legs? So, and how are your knees today? Are they in good shape? Are they sensitive? Are they relaxed? Are they tense? Or what is going on today with your knees? So we continue to your upper legs. Like, okay, so are your muscles relaxed? Are you feeling grounded today? Are you having any special sensations in your legs? See, all this there's no good and bad in it. It's just a matter of becoming aware of what you are feeling and making connection with your body. So we come back to the sit bones and to your pelvis. So is your lower body relaxed? Or are there any kind of special sensations that are going on? In the meantime, you just keep breathing to your lower belly. Or maybe sigh sometime. Or yawn is also good. Yawning is great too. And if you feel that your body wants to move, just allow that to happen. You don't have to sit still. No, it's great to move your body while doing this. Because it helps to release any kind of tension that you hold in your body. And you're by yourself. This is your experience of yourself. So maybe I forgot to tell you that you can close your eyes and not be concerned about how everyone's doing or how everyone's looking at you. That's not the case at all right now. So yeah, your legs. This is like important part of your body too. You walk with it and you can run. It can really hold a lot of weight too, most of the time. So how is your lower back at this point? Is it relaxed or is it a bit stiff or is it feeling good or special sensations going on there? Special attention? Are you already focused on your back or not? Well, whatever it is, just say observe it. Just observe it right now. Don't do anything with it. Don't repeat ideas that you think describe your back. No, just let them be. So in the meantime, it's like massaging my lower legs. I don't know why, but it's just happening. So that's okay too. So here we are. A little higher is the place where you actually feel the inhalation of air, where you feel your chest going up when you breathe in, and also pushing your belly forward when you breathe in. So is your chest relaxed? Are you feeling open? So maybe you open your shoulders a little bit or your chest by opening your arms for a moment and stretching them out a little bit, moving around. There's not really any effort at all. Just noticing. Just noticing. So are you feeling different sensations now while you're doing this? So we get to your shoulders, to your arms, upper arms, and your lower arms, and your elbow, and your hands. So are your hands relaxed today? Are they in good shape? Are they cold? Are they warm? Are they feeling, great? See, can you feel that your chest goes up when you breathe in? Even your rib cage, like stretching out, expanding a little bit when you breathe in. So here's your neck, here's your throat. Is it nice and open, your throat, or do you feel a bit tight in your neck or in your throat? So, and here's your face, here's your mouth. So here are your teeth too, and the taste of your mouth. Like, oh yeah. So maybe you have a memory now, or maybe you have an association. Just let it be. You don't have to do anything with it, just noticing. So here's your nose and your eyes. How are your eyes feeling today? Are your eyes relaxed? Are there any specific sensations going on? So here's your hair. The hair on your head. Can you feel your hair? Maybe shake your head a little bit. And it's like, oh yeah, I got hair on my head. It's all different, isn't it? If you do it really conscious. It's like, oh my God, I got hair on my head. How is that? That's great. So now I'm inviting you to stand up, because it's a different sensation you will discover. So gently stand up, please, and open your eyes before you do so, that you don't fall on the ground or anything, because I cannot get to you that easy. So here we are, standing up. And I always invite you to move a little bit, from moving your weight from one leg to the other. So you really become aware of your legs too. Like, oh yeah, maybe lift your foot a little bit, just to make a good connection with the earth. And feeling that there's actually, that you weigh something, that there's an attraction of the earth to you. There's a magnetic field that you find yourself in. Yeah, that's great. So now we go back to the rest of our body. Like, how is your body feeling now? Is it still the same sensation, or are there sensitive points that are coming to you? It's like, oh yeah, this is really like present now. That wasn't when I was sitting down. So did something shift and change when you were doing this? Or are you still totally relaxed and open? In the meantime, we still keep breathing to the belly. Yeah, that's great. So now we go back to our senses, like especially our ears. So we close our eyes, we already did that. But our ears, we can't close our ears. So we're going to use them actually now. So what are you hearing right now? Are your ears feeling okay? And what are you hearing? Is this just the regular sounds in your room? Is this maybe a window's open and you hear sounds from outside? Hear the wind rushing through the leaves, or maybe hear cars honk their horns, or who knows what you're hearing. But at least you notice it now. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't even pay attention, but now I hear it. So here, this is you in your universe, on your planet, attracted to this planet and having a physical experience of yourself. And also connected to this earth, like it's really supporting you in all the steps that you take. It is a platform for your awakening at the same time. It is amazing that you can stand on it and actually go through your spiritual journey, even using this too, using your earth, so to speak. So, and it brings you to all kinds of situations that you actually really have to go to in order to learn something or to get in touch with deeper parts of yourself, and also to walk this earth to find your freedom. Not that you will find it in this world, but you will find it in yourself. But still, this is the place where you're actually going to find that. And that is why it's great to include the body into it too, even though it has just a supportive role in that sense. So, depending on our ideas about the body, I'll make it short now, because we're standing already like a couple of minutes. It's it's enough now, almost. So it's good to realize that you're actually connected to this universe, that you stand on a planet. You could say like one of the billion stars and planets, that like trillions of planets that are in this universe, which sounds like a really different idea. But the universe I'm talking about is in you, and that is actually supporting you. So what you see out there with your senses is then just a reflection of what is an unfoldment inside yourself. So literally every cell of your body is an unfoldment of the whole universe. So, and you can actually feel that when I say that. You feel the connection. It's like it's unbelievable, but it's right here. So, and that is like, it is rejuvenating you. It is supporting you. It is giving you what you need as an experience of yourself. It is there. It is there. You can never leave it, so to speak. Only in your imagination. Okay, so that's lovely. That's great. So thank you for this. We're going to sit down now, and I'll take it from there. Oh yeah, you can open your eyes now if you feel like doing that. Otherwise you sit with your eyes closed. That is perfectly all right with me too. What a freedom today, huh? So that's so great. So this week I sent you an email with some questions, and they have to do with the topic of today, which is the fear of healing. That's to me an interesting topic, because it is also surprising that this phenomena actually exists in us. And you deal with it and you use it, and it's an essential part in your awakening too, without getting into the book about it. I want to use some of our own experiences to expand on this. So everything has to do with who you think you are. So in your awakening, it's a discovery of your self-identification. And the self-identification, the undoing of that is taking place in your awakening, is basically which part of it are you willing to take another look at? So, and that is really like, oh, I'm afraid to look at that. I'm not going to do that now, would be one of the responses at certain aspects of this awakening. So what I mean with that is you will not be able to look at every part immediately. So it's like deeper and deeper you sink into the discovery of who you are. And so that comes also with the undoing of an idea about what you think that you are. So that's why I use this, body matter meeting that we have for that too. See, there's something like the conceptual part of a teaching can be like, okay, I'm not a body, I'm free. That's absolutely, say, true in its essence, but you have to go a little way into the acceptance of the idea. You go through a certain physical response in that undoing. It is not enough to just say accept the concept. This is what I mean. So, like my teacher always said, not being a body is a very physical thing. And that's actually great. That's a beautiful way of saying that, because then you include the body into this and all that comes with that, like all these ideas that you hold with it. So one of the questions that I posed in the email that I sent you was this: is like, what is it? How does it affect you when somebody in your vicinity is sick, like has an illness? You know, how is that for you? How is that affecting you? And so I don't know what you wrote down, and that's perfectly all right with me. But I want to share something with you. Like in going through this process myself, working as a nurse for maybe 6 years in a facility for elderly, say, addicts and homeless people, you come in touch with a lot of so-called sickness. And the amazing part then is how are you dealing with that in your awakening? Like, I'm amazed. Like I in my experience of myself, I have been meditating for 10 years probably and didn't know anything what was going on in the world for a long time. Suddenly I find myself back in a facility for addicts and homeless people, and now what? You know, so how is that going to affect me now? So for me, there was a great change in before I worked as a nurse, before my awakening intensive that I went through for 10 years. I worked as a nurse, but in a different way. Then I come back and I find myself again in a setup like that. And then seeing that I deal with it in a different way because I changed my mind about myself. So some of these experiences that I had in discovering how it is for me now can be really helpful for you too. So I'll give you some examples, and which is, maybe you've heard them before, because I've shared that before too, but it's really nice to use in this sense. So first of all, I want to acknowledge this, is the fact that you are here in this class probably also means, and I'm absolutely convinced of that, it's like the pain of your brother, you have seen that as not separate from yourself. You know, so you have a heart for your brother. You don't like to see him in pain. You know, that touches you. That's why you have to do something with it. Like, you cannot just ignore it. No, there's actually something going on. Only the response to it is different now in your awakening than when you were, say, acting as a human being. Because as a human being, you confirm the sickness. You live with him in it, and you share his dream of sickness, as we call that. Like you dive deeply into the experience, and you're actually locked into it yourself too when you do it. So you're probably familiar with this. So then what is the other way of dealing with this then? Is like the one thing that happens when somebody has an experience of illness is an idea of separation, is thinking that something has left you, that you have no communication with God going on. You have you don't like to, you feel lonely, you feel isolated. So that is one part of that. So the other way to respond to it then would be to confirm your connection with your brother. without acknowledging his sickness. And still dealing with, you can still give care to him, but you don't necessarily have to confirm what appears to be going on. So, and that is totally freeing in your own experience of yourself, because if you would not care at all, negate the whole situation completely, you would feel guilt feelings maybe, or you would feel something like, oh, well, that's not it either. I really didn't give him everything that I wanted to, or something like that. So in this other approach, in which you empathize, but in a different way, you acknowledge him as your brother, but not confirming any other part of it. That sets you free, and your brother too. Like, you don't have to share his dream of sickness in that sense. You can still stay right here without being affected by the occurrence. And not affected, I have to elaborate on that also a little bit, because it seems like if you're not affected about a certain situation, as if it has no effect on you. And that is not totally true either. It is just that you're not confirming it as a real occurrence that this is taking place. No, what you do is this. It's like when you're suddenly, like I had this many times, like in an emergency, what looks like an emergency situation, you allow yourself to be affected by it, because whether you like it or not, you have a bodily, like a physical response to a certain situation. The adrenaline goes up, your heartbeat raises, you can hardly think, you want to act, but you don't actually know what to do, or you follow the rules that you've learned as a first responder or something. But see, that is, if you allow just to go through this physical episode inside yourself, seeing that this all happens, but not acting from it right away, but letting it calm down first, then you know also what to do, how to respond. Otherwise you would just do something in the panic of the moment. So now it is like, no, I let this first sink in. Like, I want to first relax, let this adrenaline go down, and then come from my stillness and act from there, and wait for the answer to be given me about how to respond. So I did this many times. In that sense, it was a liberating experience, because of I was still completely present, I was still completely there. I did respond, but in a whole different way. And that set me free of the situation. And that is a whole different experience, while I'm still present in it and participating in the whatever needs to occur. So this is a bit what I mean with that. So, but that is after some practice too, because the first time you might still be completely influenced by the occurrences and take the appearances as a reality, as a fact. And that's perfectly all right. It is something that you can learn, but it has more to do with like awareness, looking at it in a different way, knowing that your body has a response of itself. So this is what I wanted to share today also a little bit. It's like the response of your body to your spiritual awakening. Because we call it, at least that's the term I use for it a lot, it's like physical conversion. See, if you enter into a dance room where loud music is playing and you see about 1,500 people dance and go out of their minds, that has a certain impact on your physicality too. You know this, so you start to move around or maybe to groove a little bit, but at least you cannot not be affected by it. It really resonates with your physicality. So that's a beautiful example, but it's the same as you when you walk through a town. You have a physical response to your surroundings, and you can ignore it, you can recognize it, or you do whatever you want with it. But it's like that has an effect on you. And especially since, at least for me, speaking from myself, going through this spiritual awakening, I become more and more sensitive to this, one way or another. So I can be completely so-called satisfied walking through a city, and within half an hour I'm completely done. I'm floored. I need to go home and rest. Something like that. You know, it's like it becomes much more, because you're open and receptive, it seems like a whole different experience. So this is good to know. So you stay with what you feel. You allow yourself to feel what you feel. That is perfectly all right. The same also for me in this is also like you ask for help. Okay, I'm not feeling well. I'm in this city. I need to go out and finding my car back, or who knows what I'm going to do on my bicycle in Holland. And I need help here. Wow, that's a pretty intense experience I have right now. You know, so this is like, that is always with you in your awakening too. You can ask for help. Like, oh yeah, wait a minute. I was just too much influenced by what appears to be my surrounding. It has an effect on me physically. So this is also a part. So these are just examples of how everything that's occurring, the ones that you're with, have an effect on you physically too. And that is okay. It's okay to acknowledge that and to see that for yourself. And also, this is what I discover in my awakening too, is like you can be very energetic one moment and then the next moment be completely exhausted. That can, say, change a little quicker than you had before. So that's also one of the changes that you can go through. So all this has to do with your undoing of who you think you are. So there's just, say, these are natural things happening in your process of awakening. So you might as well just be aware of it, that you don't confuse it with that you think something went wrong or anything like that. Not at all. So that's really great to share this. I'm happy that I can share this, because you hardly ever talk about this stuff, so to speak. So this is the place for that. I'm grateful for that. So one of the other questions I ask is like, if somebody hurts you, now what is that gonna do with you? See, that has an impact on your psyche, on your physicality, who knows? So, see, the thing is that in the fear of healing, ingrained in it is also a really old idea. And that's an idea that you can be hurt by others. So that has an impact. So if somebody hurts you, seems to hurt you, that memory comes back through your physicality. The memory is suddenly there for you again. It's like, yeah, you start to almost like have a primal reaction to it, like adrenaline reaction to it, or not, or you go in, you close yourself off, separate yourself. Who knows what happens? See, these are all very old ideas stored in your physicality of yourself as an old memory, still active, still there, and it's coming up in your awakening process for healing. Apparently, when these experiences are happening to you, when you suddenly become aware that you are, say, protecting yourself, or that you feel hurt by someone, now this occurrence that is taking place is no accident. Like, now there's a perfect plan for your awakening and it's working. So all the situations that you're being brought in are so well, say, organized for you in your awakening, that now is the time for you to allow that healing to occur. And that has to do with your physicality. That has to do with, say, physical discomforts. It has to do with people that you think are hurting you. It has to do with you think that something's wrong with your body, or all of this. You know, it's like this whole scenario that you carry with you, literally as in this memory package, is really for you now to let the healing occur. So how do you do that then? How do you do that then when it comes up? See, the important part is why we started this meeting with, and that is this idea. So you start to build your relationship with yourself. So you also start to build a tolerance for yourself in your mind. And the tolerance is more like allowing all these sensations to come to you, all these ideas to come to you. In fact, all the feelings come to you too. And seeing all the occurrences and circumstances and relationships and all the happenings in these relationships, seeing those too as a possibility for healing. So it's literally you expand your healing awareness, your healing consciousness. And so the body is really like the instrument for it to pick up the signals, you know? You know really well when you are not following your feelings or your intuitions about a certain situation. Or you said yes, but actually you meant no. Then you feel in your body that you actually don't want to do it. Or, you know, stuff like that. It's like you feel everything is not working with you, including your body. So this is a real, say, important part of your physical communication. Like you use your body for that. It's a means of communication. It's literally like an interface. So in listening to it doesn't hurt. So listening to it is important. It is your possibility to use it now, like to its fullest, in order for the healing to occur for you in this, say, in this moment, in this sojourn on this planet. So I'm so happy that I can share this with you, just to say confirm the necessity to include the body into this process, because there's a real advantage to doing that, and which is you're not walking ahead of yourself. No, you stay close in the relationship of yourself, in the undoing of your body identification, you know, and also the body usage in your spiritual awakening. So it confirms that, and it is helpful because it actually gives you a point of focus, not to focus on your ailments or not to focus on, to focus on the possibility of feeling how you are feeling, and seeing that this is information that you will have to listen to in order to become free of the situation, or to become free of the limitation. In fact, to open up a possibility for your new freedom. So that's really how I experience that, and how I want to extend this to you. So then the same thing with the conversion, because I love to come back to that one more time, is also in your healing relationship with your brother, with whoever is coming to you, which I call your brother. And why do we use the word brother and not sister? Well, brother is the idea of, is an undone idea of potential. Like the female, the sister, would include a possibility for procreation, for having a follow-up, like a potential for new life. In the idea of brother, that is not there. So that's why we use that. And that is just a way that is given to me to share with you. So doesn't matter. It actually does not matter. So we use the word brother. So now I lost, of course, my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, here in your healing relationship with your brother, it is like being together with somebody that asks you for help has also an effect on your physicality, on your, but he's coming to you for help. He's asking you. So you want to include him in, and you want to hear and listen to what he shares. And you want to hand it over to your Holy Spirit in order for it to be taken care of, that you remember like, oh yes, in my connection with God, in my remembrance of who I really am, is my brother included, and is the healing taking place? Because it is like, yeah, it's a shared experience with my brother. So then, that's also what I call with physical conversions. Like, okay, you feel what your brother actually is bringing to you, despite the words he uses, but you feel what he's actually resonating to you. And it's like that is also a physical experience of physical conversion. It literally changes in your body. It changes from something that is heavy or is whatever it is into light, because literally the lights will come into you to relieve you of it by your remembrance of who you are. So this is like in a healing relationship happening. Somebody comes to you for help, you connect, you start to pray, or however you do that for yourself, and you receive light and feel the change inside of you. And suddenly both you're in a different place than you were a moment ago. It's like, okay, that is what's happening during class too. We come together with the purpose of healing. So guess what happens? It's like the healing occurs. Suddenly you feel yourself, yeah, I'm in a different place. And it's amazing. I feel so much better. Like I was, I even have it before class too. I start yawning and yawning. It's like, okay, well, can I really do this class right now? And once I meet with you in this common purpose, something is lifting up. It's like it's literally given us to receive the gift together. And that is so beautiful about, say, the physical conversion or the healing relationship that we have. So, and that is a matter of like, see, I'm using my nose as an sensor for excitement. It's working so well. Do you have the feeling too? It's like when you get excited that your nose starts to itch. Okay, so that's lovely. So I'm really excited about meeting with you in this place, in this way, and that is totally lovely. I see that we have like 15 minutes left in our class. So we continue here in this class, and I will not put that on YouTube, but just a possibility to share something, or a possibility to ask for healing, or to ask any questions. Whatever arises is welcome, in the sense of with the purpose for healing. Absolutely. So I'm really happy that you were here and participated in this class. I hope that it gave you a new insight about what is occurring in your spiritual awakening, completely centered on the idea of the function of the body in all of this. So thank you for that, and see you soon.